Good evening, all you beautiful people out there in YouTube land. And for those of you, either people that are returning or people that are here for the first time, please don't forget to like, comment on, and share the stream to your social media platform. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, and make sure you hit the bell icon for alerts on new content. As always, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much indeed for your support in this particular matter. And we speak of support. Forged from Iron is proud to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham United fans and friends inspired by the work of other football fan food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations from Newham Food Bank in Beckton, who supply 7 distribution centres in the borough, 7 days a week, and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. They are supported in their efforts by West Ham United Football Club, the WHU Foundation, LS185, London Legacy Development Corporation, Newham Council, the Met Police, Spire London East Hospital, Expedient Security, and a large number of West Ham and football fans. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thank you for your support. Come on, you Irons. Okay, let's get down to it, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to discuss Matchday 12 of 38, West Ham United against Bournemouth at London Stadium tomorrow evening. Now, I think it's fair to say, Duke, that with the results that have taken place over the course of this match weekend, this match has taken on a great deal more significance than it otherwise might have been. Because I don't know if you've seen, we are... And listen, you can dress it up whatever way you want. The fact of the matter is, as we speak, we are 17th in the Premier League. We are 2 points off of being in the relegation zone. However, conversely, it's a bit of a weird situation because if we win the game tomorrow, we jump up 7 places to 10th. It's crazy.
How to be positive, Robert. We can go 10th tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay. We've lost 3 games in 10 in all competitions. 2 of those, one was against Chelsea, one was against Liverpool. We've had a draw in there. What's not to be optimistic about? Like, honestly, the way people are going, we're already relegated, which really isn't the case. The way people are going, it's, oh my God, the season's over. It's nothing of the sort, my man. It's ridiculous, if you ask me, to be, shall we say, pressing that big red panic button just yet.
Well, you say that. I mean, this will be match day 12, so that's what? Virtually a quarter of the season, pretty much. Or sorry, the third of the season, excuse me.
10th. And we can be 10th if we win our...
We could, but right now we are 17th. Right now, but
the weekend's games aren't finished. Now, if we come back here on Tuesday evening and you're here having a conversation because we've lost against Bournemouth, whole different kettle of fish, my man, and I will be in that ballpark with you. But right now, the weekend's fixtures aren't over. Let's be honest, it's all going to be haywire in the Premier League this weekend. But we haven't played yet. Why the fuck are we so negative already? Listen, yes, we've still got our game to play from this weekend. Let's park the negative over there, off camera. of we're currently 17th because we have that game that we still need to play because everyone else has done so.
Yep.
Let's focus on the positive that if we win tomorrow, we go 10th back into the top half of the table, as you put it, with the quarter of the season gone. Let's not until Tuesday. Let's not even entertain the idea of a David Moyes replacement conversation because I just can't. They're everywhere at the minute. Everywhere at the minute. The negativity surrounding our fan base, surrounding a lot of the YouTube channels, is quite painful. I have to say. Listen. 4 weeks ago, I was saying that we were in a relegation battle. Now we still are, but a win tomorrow puts us 10th. Teams like Fulham, our opponents tomorrow, Bournemouth, Villa, although they had a fantastic result today. It's these teams are going to fall away again. This is the way it is. Forest, yeah, all right, they beat Liverpool. Woo, great game. And to be fair, everyone's banging on about the fact that they beat them. Should we talk about how lucky they were? Henderson made some absolutely terrific stops. Difference between a 35-year-old goalkeeper, may I point out, and someone who's not. But you know what? We win tomorrow, we go 10th. It's our 7th win in 11 games in all competitions. Can't be positive. I don't know what you can be. Listen, if you said to me 11 games ago or 10 games ago, in all competitions, you're going to win 6, I'd rip your fucking arm off. I really would have done.
I think Richard has hit the nail on the head, to be fair. I mean, we've got 2 Richards in there at the minute. But Richard Cox, he says that we need a positive lineup tomorrow. For me, I think that if we go out there with a sort of lineup that we did against Liverpool. Now, okay, you could make the case that against Liverpool at Anfield, there's a different set of circumstances to a home match against Bournemouth. But I think we do, as fans, I think we fundamentally need to see David Moyes putting out a lineup that straight away says to the 62,000 West Ham fans that will be going there tomorrow night, of which you and I will be 2 of, and to the assembled hordes of the West Ham fans around the world that will be watching it on TV. I think it's imperative that David Moyes puts out a starting 11 that says this isn't a team that's going to go out to contain them in the first half and try and set loose on them in the second half. This is a team that from minute 1 will be out of the blocks aiming for their jugular. I think it's really important that that's what David Moyes puts out. Am I confident that he's going to do that? No, I'm not.
Okay, let me ask you one question.
Fire away.
Before we hit your predicted lineups, if you will. Have you put your predicted lineup as what you'd like to see or what you think Moyes is going to do?
What I think Moyes is going to do.
Okay, so what would your lineup be tomorrow?
My lineup tomorrow,
with what we have available or what we know we have available.
Right, okay. I would have Areola in goal, and that's no slight on Fabianski. But I think that his distribution, is getting the ball moving from back to front quicker than Fabianski manages to do could be absolutely critical tomorrow, in my opinion. I would have... I think it's very, very likely, for the reports I'm reading, that it's very unlikely that we'll have Dawson available. So I think that ideally I would like to see Kerr at right back. I would have actually quite liked to see Ashby at right back, but I believe he's got an injury that has put pay to any chance of that happening. I think I would also go with Flynn Downs as Declan Rice's partner, in my opinion. Not to say that Thomas Souček had a bad game against Liverpool. He didn't. But I don't think that we need 3 essentially defensive-minded midfielders playing tomorrow. 2, maybe. maybe. But even that, I would probably say, do you know what? We could probably get away with playing one. Against Bournemouth at home, I possibly not. Possibly we don't need two defensive midfielders. I'd actually quite like to see us maybe go 4-1-4-1. Something like that. 4-1-3-2, something along those lines.
If he goes 4-2-3-1, is that negative?
4-2-3-1.
Yep, same as what we've always played.
Yeah, it's probably not negative, and it is what I expect him to play. I wouldn't say it's negative. I wouldn't say at the same time it's probably not as positive as what I'd like it to be. Just my opinion. Some of it might be because of circumstance. Some of it might be because certain players aren't available, like Dawson, as I say, like Ashby, like Paqueta, like Cornet, who are all very unlikely to feature tomorrow, I think. That has to be taken into consideration. But at the same time, I think that, like I say, it is imperative, in my opinion, that David Moyes puts out a team that, at least on paper, when it's announced at, 7, 8 o'clock, the 8 o'clock's kickoff, is it? So it's an hour before the lineups will be announced. I think it's imperative that when we see that it's starting 11, we don't do what we did when I came round for the Everton game. And our collective response when we saw that starting lineup was, I think it's really, really important that tomorrow that's not our reaction. That we look at that starting lineup and go, okay, he's going for this. This isn't a containment job. This is him saying, we're taking the 3 points. We're the home team. We're the established Premier League team. We're the team that's qualified for Europe 2 seasons in a row. And we are going to go out there from minute 1 to minute 90, and we're going to go out there to dominate you. No ifs, no buts. Now, whether that happens or not remains to be seen. But I think that sets the tone straight away. Because, like I say, if it's like what we had against Everton, where we look at that 11 and go, same old, I just think that straight away puts a little bit of a negative vibe in the stadium before a ball's even kicked.
Okay, let me ask this then. Would you take a 3-1 like we had against Fulham, go 1-0 down, score 3 goals, win 3-1?
Yes, of course.
Do you take a rope 1-0 win?
Would I
take a ropey 1-0 win?
Listen, in the situation we're in, the reality is that 3 points, however it comes about, is absolutely a must. Whether it's a scruffy 1-0 win, whether it's a 3-0 defeat.
There's my point. It doesn't matter how we go about it.
Yeah, but my point is that, like I say, I think it's important that the vibe in the crowd tomorrow is going to be really important. And I think that if the 62,000 West Ham fans or thereabouts sees that lineup and are straight away like, shit, here we go again. Like I say, I do believe that's going to feed over the players.
But then that's down to us to get behind the players, Rob. They're all well and good having a negative reaction to a team an hour before kickoff that, you know what, he's playing a certain way, and then walking into that stadium and letting them players know, regardless of whether Souček, Downs and Rice are playing, and you think, oh, fuck me, one of them shouldn't be in there. Don't matter. We get behind every one of those 11 that are on that pitch and are starting, and we cheer them on. You know, we get behind this. This is what I was saying. We get behind Moyes. We get behind the 11 that are on that pitch, regardless of whether he goes to 3-5-2, 5-3-2. I personally hate that formation. I hate it. I hate seeing 5 defensive players in. Obviously, Souček, and you're talking 7, right? I hate it. I don't want to see. If anything, I'd rather see us go 4-4-2 than go 3 at the back. We can't play 3 at the back. But for some reason, we insist on going at 3 at the back. But you want to know something? When he puts 3 at the back and he goes 5 in midfield, wherever he wants to go about it, I still get behind that 11. I still get behind him as a manager and roar us, hopefully, on to victory, despite the fact that I think 3-5-2, 3-4-3, 3-5-7, whatever, it's a shit formation and we can't play it. Now, if he rocks up tomorrow and he goes, okay, we're going to go 4-1-4-1 or 4-1-3-2, and he decides that, you know what, a good idea is Scamacca and Antonio up front. A good idea is to play Emerson on the left wing with Cresswell at left back, because you know what? We're sacrificing a defensive midfielder in Souček. And he goes, okay, 4-1-4, 4-1-3-2. So he goes, he's back four, don't care. Cresswell and Sufal, I suppose. Whatever the two fit in the middle of the park, fantastic. Declan Rice is holding, and because there's only one there now, not two, Emerson plays the left wing because he can track back and help, because you've got to bear in mind that we are one short in the defensive kind of situation, missing one of the two CDMs. You go Bowen as a right mid rather than being slightly further forward as he normally would be. Or he could be slightly further forward, not too much. And then you have, I don't know, I don't think he's fit, but the news was he might be, being Paqueta, right? Or, and hold on to your seat of your pants, people, because I'm going to say it. If it ain't Paqueta, it's Ben Rama. And Ben Rama sits in behind two of Scamacca and Antonio, right? Now, that's what I'd like to see tomorrow. Now, if he goes, now, I'm going to go 5 at the back. I'm going to go 2 holding midfielders, and then I'm going to go 1 all the way up top and 2 in behind, and kind of play some sort of weird Christmas tree formation. I'm going to go, is that, right? That's what I'm going to do. On the train, outside the pub, at the Heineken bar, whatever, I'm going to get my phone out and I'm going to go, what? 20 minutes later, I walk into that stadium, that all goes away. I get behind the 11 that are on the pitch. I get behind Moyes and his backroom team that are going to be sat to my right and underneath me, right? And I sing, I cheer, I yell, I shout, I back, right? Because that's what we're expected to do as fans. Now, if it all goes wrong and we come back here on Tuesday evening and we sit down and we have a conversation and we are bottom 3, okay, or bottom 4, and things look disastrous, then yeah, let's have that conversation about David Moyes and a possible replacement. By the way, I heard the name Joachim Low mentioned yesterday and he fell off my chair as I was DJing. Stop. Bill QPR I'd be interested in, and his backroom team, to be honest with you, because I think they're doing a really good job at QPR. I do know that he has he's affirmed his loyalty to QPR after the interest from Wolves. One of his first team coaches is actually my brother's boss, but that's a different story. But we can have that conversation in 2 days' time. Right now is a conversation that should be, in theory, full of positivity. 6 wins in 10, 1 draw, 3 defeats, 2 of which were against considerably, significantly better sides in Chelsea and Liverpool. And they are. I don't want to hear this shit about what we've bought. Hey, it's a good time. It's a good time. Never before have I ever seen West Ham go on a run where they've won 6 out of 10 in any competition, in every competition, let alone what we're playing this season. So it's time to be positive, Rob, for me anyway. But that's it.
Fair enough. Right, before we get into what I believe the starting 11s will be, that, ladies and gentlemen, is the officiating team. David Coote is the man with the whistle. The guys on flag waving duty are Neil Davies and Nick Hopton. The guy with the board at the side of the pitch is Mr. Craig Paulson. Oh, and look who's on VAR, our very favourite Mr. Mike Dean, and his assistant is Dan Robathan. So, okay, let's get into it and let's see what I've put together as what I believe the starting 11s will be. Okay. Oh, hang on. Let me just get rid of that banner at the bottom. Okay. This is what I suspect that David Moyes will go with, not necessarily what I would select. So I think he will go Fabianski in goal. Cresswell will be the left back. Kufau will be the right back with Zuma and Kera as the centre backs. Declan Rice will be wearing the captain's armband. His partner will be Thomas Souček. It will then be Said Benrahma left, Jared Bowen to the right, Pablo Fornals as the playmaker, with the guy at the top of the pitch will be Gianluca Scamacca. Duke, pick the bones out of that.
I would, if that is the formation, I would make the changes. The one change of Fornals and Benrahma switch.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I would. And the reason for me on that one would be because I just think that Fornals offers some. Pardon me. Fornals offers some help over on that right, over on the left. That Benrahma doesn't. And that I think Benrahma is more of a natural 10, and that's where I'd like to see him if Paqueta's not fit.
But
other than
largely,
that,
you think that's going to be the personnel that David Moyes kicks out in all likelihood? Then
you know what, if he does, then I get behind that. I do, and if he decides that he wants to swap Fornals and Benrahma, and then swaps out Fornals on the left for Emerson, then so be it. I will get behind whatever he puts out tomorrow. Like I say, I'd actually like to see a 4-1-3-2 and replace Souček with Antonio and go with a two-man top line. I'd love to see a two-man top line at this club right now with Antonio and Scamacca in there. Because I tell you what, my opinion is that would be formidable, dominant.
Hand on heart, do you think you're going to see it?
At some point, yes. Maybe not tomorrow.
No, not going to happen tomorrow. If it happens tomorrow, I'll be absolutely astonished. I mean, just to sort of like rewind just a little bit, I'm not, just to get back to sort of you say about you're going to go there, you're to support, blah, blah, blah. I'm not for 1 minute suggesting that if we see the team sheet an hour before kickoff and it's a little bit less positive than we would like it to be in terms of the personnel, in terms of the formation, I'm not for 1 minute suggesting that you're going to have 62,000 people in there that all of a sudden go mute. But let's be honest, I think that if there's a lineup that looks a little bit like we've got the handbrake applied, then I think that there is going to be a distinct lowering of the volume. And I think that for tomorrow's match, Monday night, under the lights, I think we need to really crank up the volume tomorrow because we need 3 points. We need to, once that whistle goes, we need to come out of the gate flying at them. And my concern is that if that doesn't come to pass and it's a little bit of a toned down atmosphere, like I say, my concern is that will transfer over to the players. It's inevitable.
But that's on us then, Rob. That's on us as fans. If we don't go there and give them our all, then we're justifiably as bad as the performance. If we don't put in our best performance, no different than the players on the pitch don't give in theirs. So, and before you say it, I'm very aware that they earn X amount more money than us, and we have to pay for the honour to go watch them. But as has been noted before in many other YouTube channels, not just West Ham, we're the 12th man. especially when you're at home. So if we don't give our all and we're subdued, then we're just as much to blame for a poor performance on our side of the pitch than as they will be on the pitch with theirs.
See, with me, it's very much as chicken and egg. It's like, are the fans supposed to spur the players on, or are the players supposed to give a performance that gives the supporters a bit of a lift? You know what I mean? It is 6 of one, half dozen of the other, in my opinion.
Do you want my opinion?
Go for it.
It's very much give and take. We are all very much in the same boat, in my opinion. The players feed off of our energy and we feed off the players' energy. So let's go out there tomorrow. And this is a plea to the 8 people that are watching, of which I don't know if they're going. We ain't got 62,000 people currently watching us, so I can't make a plea to everyone. I ain't got 62,000 followers.
Be quite happy if 62 people watch this.
Hang on, isn't it? Christ. I want us to go tomorrow night, Rob, and make some noise. Do you remember everyone said that we couldn't make the London Stadium home, right?
Okay.
And then we had the Chelsea game in the League Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Jacko Koyate, if I remember rightly. Or maybe OBM, or maybe one of the other 24 midfielders we've had at that point. One of them scored, and that place was rocking. Like, it was the first time that we've been in that stadium and played at home that people came out. I wasn't there. I'm paraphrasing others and using their. They said it was like being at Upton Park. The noise levels, the way that the fans were, right? Last season against Lyon and Villarreal, you know, the noise levels. Sevilla, sorry. The noise levels were outstanding at that stadium.
Leicester as well, first home game.
Yeah, so let's recreate that. I implore every West Ham fan going tomorrow. We are just as responsible tomorrow as those players are on the pitch. If we want them to put in their best performance, we have to give ours.
Fair enough. Okay, so this is what I suspect that Gary O'Neill will be putting in out for the Cherries for AFC Bournemouth. Our former player. And he's done a decent job there in this interim manager situation that he's put in. In goal will be Neto. I believe they will line up with a 4-2-3-1 formation with Smith as the left back, Fredericks, our old friend, as the right back, and the centre-back pairing of Senesi and Mepham as the captain. The double pivot will be Jefferson Lerma and Lewis Cook, with Marcus Tavernier, Ryan Christie on the wings, Philip Billing just playing off of Dominic Solanke. Now, is there who there, Duke, do you look at and go, oh, got to watch out for him?
I like Solanke.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's doing himself any justice with how he's been playing. Is Tavernier the guy from Rangers?
No. That's the different.
Is that a different one?
Yeah.
I'm not interested in him then. And Frederick, to be honest with you, I think that could be a very interesting scenario with him because that's Ryan Christie, isn't it? Over on the right.
Yes.
Okay. Hi. Is he? He's pacey, isn't he?
What, Ryan Christie?
Yeah, or
Decent.
used to be. See, they've got some pace down that right. Now, I will say Ryan Fredericks has the pace of a gazelle. He also has the talent football of one as well, which is why he no longer plays for us. For me, I target that right-hand side because he's all very good at speed, but he has no... this was the reason he don't play for us anymore, Rob. yeah, we all used to say he can't defend for toffee, but he's great getting forward, then, you know, why don't we focus on that? No, I'm just doing my video.
There you go. But I'll be honest with you, mate. I look at that lineup, and don't get me wrong, they've done quite well. I'm just looking at their Premier League form in the last 6. It's 2 wins, 3 draws, 1 defeat. The defeat being in the game midweek last week against Southampton. Good, decent enough run. I mean, considering this was a team that went to Anfield and got absolutely battered 9-0, which is what prompted Scott Parker to be waved a cheery goodbye. I think they've done tremendously well, but I just look at that 11 and go, not overly impressed with any of them. I mean, even Solanke up top. I mean, I think he flatters to deceive. If I'm being honest, I've never been a fan of him as a Premier League number 9. Tavernier is a championship player in my opinion. Christie is a championship player. Tavernier.
Tavernier. Right, okay, we're on the same page. That's good.
Christie, yeah, they're championship players, mate. And I don't mean that with any disrespect, but they are. We shouldn't be, like I say, and this is the thing for me, is that this is you and I differ on this. I will be looking for a lineup that David Moyes puts out that says we're going for this. And I personally think that is really important, because I just think that sets the tone. I really do think that sets the tone, mate. If he puts out, because this team is a championship team, and all due respect to Bournemouth fans, you know, they're a well-run club. They tried to play good football, but let's say it as it is. They're a team that's come up from the championship, and they've still got a bulk of championship players. So we shouldn't be looking at them and going, "Oh, we need to have, you know, 2 defensive midfielders and 5 at the back and this, that, and the other." No, fuck that. You know, let's throw the kitchen sink at these. You know, let's get the game put to bed after about 60 minutes.
All right, let me ask you this then.
Fire away.
He picks a team that's going to. Oh, I'm going off camera. He picks a team that you love, everyone else loves. He's going for it. He's all in.
Yep.
And it backfires and we lose 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
What then?
Then we're 17th. But at least, listen, at least he's shown intent. At least he has shown intent.
Do you remember the Anderlecht game? Remember when we came off the back of the away game, and I turned around and said tactically he nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
In the game, on 70 minutes, make your changes, win 1-0, job done. Yep. I don't care if he does that tomorrow, Rob. Because that should be the aim of every single manager. Your team should be in the game. Now, whether you're 1-0 up or 1-0 down, okay? At 1-0 down, you're still in the game. Right? Now, if we're 1-0 up, then we're in the game. If we're 1-0 down, we're in the game. If it's 0-0, we're definitely in the game. I would rather see that, and to a degree, that mentality, than I would the gung-ho approach that everyone seems to be talking about. That's me. I get it. I do. But I would rather in the game, be it 1-0 up, 1-0 down, or a draw, on 70 minutes, make your changes and then go for it. I'd rather see that approach than the gung-ho and it comes back and bites us in the rear end. That's me, and I get where you're coming from. I do. Don't jump down my throat.
How many times has David Moyes made substitutions that has changed the game in our favour?
No, he hasn't.
That's my problem.
He did against Anderlecht. I'll go. He did against Anderlecht.
Poor team. in the Premier League, I can't remember too many times
can only play
where David Moyes has made tactical substitutions, not substitutions for injury reasons or because someone's been sent off or anything like that, but a tactical substitution where it could positively influence the game. Game-changing substitutes. I can't remember too many occasions where it's happened. Normally, he'll make substitutions and you're sitting there going, you should have brought him on like 10, 15 minutes ago. You're giving him you're giving him the last 5-10 minutes of the game. What are you doing?
I will give you that one. That is true. It happens far too often. It does. Of course it does. But it's all well and good. As I said at the top of the show, it's all well and good sitting here going, what if? I want and the rest of it. We should all still be being positive. Now, we come off the back of this with a defeat. Okay, it's still only 4 defeats in 11. We've still won 6 out of 11 games in all competitions, and it's still reason to be cheerful, but our league position isn't going to be fantastic. And then questions will be asked, and rightly so, off the back of the league positioning, questions should be asked. But now isn't the time to be asking that question. Now is the time for positivity. Now is the time to get behind that side. And now is the time to cheer us to the victory tomorrow and up into 10th place.
Okay, fair enough. You're very positive about the match tomorrow, and I'm glad to see it. I am glad to see it because you are right. There is a lot of negativity that's out there at the minute, rightly or wrongly. I think that the negativity, if that's what we're going to sort of call it, to be honest, I don't blame a lot of people for having that particular thought because, like I said to you, our expectations as fans over the last 2 seasons have been raised by our league finishes and by getting into a European semi-final and by them spending £180 million on players. The one thing that I've never really sort of like looked at us and thought that's really good to watch is the style of football is quite 1, 2, 3. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like football by numbers. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not really, I can't really remember too many games where we look like we're really sort of cutting loose on an opposition. And I think that's fine when you're finishing 6th, when you're finishing 7th. I think that you can, as a fan, you can kind of stomach it and go, okay, maybe the football's not great, but we're 6th, we're 7th, we're qualifying for Europe, this, that, and the other. I think at the minute, because we're where we are, and yes, the game hasn't been played. Yes, it's a slightly skewed position at the minute that we're in 17th. But be that as it may, we're not, because we're not playing sort of like good football in the main, in my opinion. I think that when you start sort of like dropping down the table, people do get the ump, quite rightly so.
I mean, listen, I'm staying positive. Listen, the other teams around us are doing significantly better than any of us would have given them credit for. Okay? The fact that we are 3 points off of 10th and currently sitting in 17th says a lot more for me anyway about the teams around us than it does about us.
Okay. Let's get into score predictions. And you guys in the live chat, please do get involved in this. And even if you're watching this and we've disappeared and it's no longer live, you've got a comment section, so crack on with that. Duke, how's this game playing out? What's the final score going to be in your opinion?
Do you want my bet, Rob?
Please do.
Do you want my bet? I'm going to give you my bet. West Ham to win 3-1. West Ham to be winning at half-time. Skamaka to score at least 1. And Bowen to either score or assist. That's my bet. And I think, if my memory serves me, it was 40-1.
40-1. How much did you put on it?
Fiver.
Fiver. Okay.
So
I'm gonna go. I think we're gonna win tomorrow. I wish I could be confident that it was going to be how can I put this? Champagne football. I think it's gonna be one of those attritional games, sort of like not very pleasing on the eye, not pretty to watch, effective. I think we'll probably be the better team over the 90 minutes, but I think that Bournemouth probably will give us plenty of problems. But I'm going to go 1-0 West Ham, and I'm going to back Jared Bowen to score the goal. He had the penalty that got saved against Liverpool, and I'd like to think that he will feel that he owes us something as a result. That he cost us at least a point at Anfield potentially, and I'd like to think he's going to go out tomorrow with a little bit of a point to prove. And I'm going to put him down as the goal scorer.
Fair enough. Oh, was that the dog?
Yep.
I won't lie. I actually thought she was shouting, and I don't mean the dog.
Not that one anyway.
I was like, it's not the main playing. Oh, how is she anyway? Saying that, is she all right? Like,
philosophical, I think, is the word.
Cheers, son's crying.
Yeah, no, we was out, Libby and I, earlier on this afternoon. And we was coming back and saw that they were 2-0 down, and we was like, oops. So
it's now 42-1 now, Rob. Skamaka to score, West Ham to win 3-1. Jared Bowen to score or assist, and West Ham to be winning at half time. It's now 42-1.
Very nice indeed. Right, I've got our fun house of 5 fascinating football factoids. Let's get into it. So I've not got the graphic up, guys, so I'm just going to read it out. It is what it is. So we won 4-0 on our last Premier League meeting with Bournemouth, which was on New Year's Day in 2020, in what was David Moyes' first game of his second spell. We have never lost against Bournemouth against Moyes, but it's only 3 games. Don't get too excited. It's 1 win and 2 draws. Second little factoid is that during our first spell, their first spell in the Premier League from 2015-16 season to 2019-20 season, Bournemouth won more points against us than against any other side in that time. 15 points consisting of 4 wins, 3 draws and 3 defeats. Factoid number 3 is that we have won in our last 5 Premier League games on a Monday, but we have never won 6 in a row on a specific day of the week in the competition. Factoid number 4, Bournemouth have won just 1 of their 6 Premier League games played on a Monday with 1 draw and 4 defeats, though it was their most recent one against Crystal Palace in October 2018. They lost their first 4 such games without scoring a single goal and have scored twice in each of the last 2. And factoid number 5 is following a 6-game winless run at home, we have won our last 2 in the Premier League at London Stadium with a defeat the defeat against Wolves 2-0 and the 3-1 win against Fulham. We last won 3 in a row by a margin of 2+ goals each time in February 2014. Obviously, that was at our old ground, Upton Park. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You little factoids for you to get your teeth into.
Rob, your little Monday one there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they played on a Monday. I don't suppose you know. Cheers, Rich. I don't suppose you know their record when playing on an autumnal equinox, when there's a full moon and Jupiter is in the descendancy. Do you know this? Is that not?
No, I think it had something to do with Uranus, though. Definitely had something to do with Uranus.
Hey, that was quick. That was quick. I'll give you that one.
Thank you very much. There you
I'm
go.
glad.
I remember that because wasn't that just shortly after we sold what's his face? Grady Diangana. I'm sure that was that.
Hey, Rob,
Yes.
got a fantastic question there from Black Metal.
Any news on when the next ex-player will be on? You might hear something Tuesday. You might hear something Tuesday.
Me or them?
Everyone. You know. You know.
I do know.
And that's assuming that my internet doesn't sort of like crash out. But
Mate,
it's done all right today.
it's all right. I've got to go out and buy myself an Ethernet cable that I can run from over there behind Phil, because that's where my router is, all the way along this wall, around the back of my CCTV, around the back of my PC here, all the way around the back there, so I can actually fit that and plug my computer actually in via an Ethernet cable to that, because all this video I've had one bar of connectivity between me and there, because the kids are obviously playing some bullshit, and I keep dropping out, I keep going black screen on you and then getting the old whirly, but I can still hear you and still talking. So it might be me that has the problem when we have the fantastic ex-player on. So excited. So excited.
Me too. But
You would be.
anyway.
He's from your era.
He's from yours as well.
FA Cup win back in 64, wasn't it?
No. He doesn't go that far back. He wasn't even.
You were in your 20s then, weren't you? 64, 65?
So boring. Do you not have any other material?
No, just you're old. That's all I got. I don't need anything else. That's all I need.
Any final thoughts before we knock it on the head, mate?
Yeah, just again, I can't wax lyrical enough about the whole positive side of things. I get why people are seeing the negativity. I get it. I do get it. I don't understand it. Personally, I'm not going to, but I see where people are going to be coming from. Like I say, if we don't win tomorrow and we're sitting here Tuesday, then I get the negativity, because it's going to build. And we are going to be bottom three with X amount of games before we go into the World Cup. But that's the conversation for then. That's not the conversation for now. Not being funny, right? If I was performing okay in my job and I got wind that all of my customers were talking about who would come in and run the pub because, they don't want me there anymore, I'd feel very about it. Now, I'm not saying that David Moyes watches any of these channels or goes onto any of the Twitch streams or anything else, but his family does. I guarantee it. And listen,
there'll be a nephew or someone, wouldn't there?
Listen, we've all Googled ourselves at some point or another. We have, and I don't mean that as a euphemism, Robert. Behave yourself. We've all Googled ourselves at some point, right? You've frozen on me, Rob. Oh, you're back. I was going to say, you're doing so well. You froze. I feel personally, I feel that Word probably could get back to him. And if he's hearing all of us, kind of, it's a lot of people. You've got to have broad shoulders to take that much slagging off. Do you know what I mean? So let's listen.
That's Premier League management, Duke.
Yeah, I do, but there's still. If that was happening any other day, any other walk of life, Robert, would be considered bullies. I don't like bullies. No, you would be. You would be. Moyes is a dinosaur. I can say that to you. I think you're a dinosaur as a joke. But when you've got 62,000 people calling you a footballing dinosaur...
It's an opinion.
Yeah, but it's
call
also
that bullying. No.
Of course it is.
No. I don't agree with that statement.
Emotional abuse.
Don't agree with that.
In day and age. It
Don't agree
is.
with that. Well, are you saying that now that we're not allowed to express an opinion in case someone turns around and says it's bullying? I'm sorry, that's bullshit.
Saying, Robert, I'm
Come
not
on.
saying that that's the case, but there will be someone out there that will do exactly that.
Nah, sorry. I disagree with that. Can't agree with that one. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you know when you're a Premier League manager, you know when you sign a contract that you're gonna get criticism no matter what you do. That's just the job.
Right. There's a difference between criticism, Robert, and outright slagging someone off. There's a difference.
So
and
you don't think that
I think
a
there's
lot of the comments are justified?
No, I don't. No, I don't. In the slightest, no, I don't. I've heard some quite nasty things in the last,
Oh, so have I.
I'd say 72 hours that aren't criticism. And when I say a lot of them, I will say a lot. It's not criticism. It's outright fucking horrible, some of it.
Oh, I've seen a couple. I mean, I don't go looking for them. I've got to be honest. I try and stay off.
Hey, listen, I don't go looking, but when you go through Twitter on a daily basis like I do, because obviously I use it for myself, I use it for my pub, I use it for Forged. I see a lot. Bearing in mind, my personal Twitter, I'd say is about 97% West Ham fans. There's a few unmentionable. No, there's not. In case someone's watching, there's some famous people. There's some jokey ones, some other bits and pieces. But I'd say about 95% of my Twitter feed is West Ham, so it's very difficult to avoid it, because it's there on every scroll down, be it the original tweet, be it someone that I decided I ain't following you because I'm done with your bullshit, and then someone retweets their stuff and you're like, oh, fuck me, they're still talking about it. I can give you a perfect example, Rob. I can give you a perfect example, and this is my brother texted me this earlier. Reason 4,780,460th reason as to why West Ham fans don't deserve good things. And a very popular West Ham Twitter page, very popular, tweeted, I'm not saying Moyes should go, but the refreshment of new ideas works. Look at Aston Villa FC. So someone replied, I think you mistook refreshment of new ideas with the Villa players just hating Gerrard, to which he replied, I don't think Moyes is the manager for Scamacca, to be honest. Right? Now, the fact that this one Twitter page constantly bashes David Moyes, I say constantly, a lot of their stuff that I see is bashing Moyes, bashing certain players. It annoys me. It annoys me. What's the phrase? If you haven't got nothing nice to say.
Yeah, but a lot of them are probably season ticket holders. So are you saying that they can pay season ticket prices and they're not allowed to voice an opinion? I don't agree with that.
Are we saying that the season ticket holders can't voice their opinion?
No, what I'm saying is that season ticket holders, they may well be season ticket holders just voicing an opinion. What's the problem with that?
I don't like it.
Maybe you don't, but at the end of the day, if they're offering an opinion, you can like it or not like it. It is what it is.
I'm gonna get more. Can't do it now.
I mean, look. The thing is, people are not going to give opinions that you or I are going to universally like, endorse, or any of that. But they're just that, dude. They're just opinions. and I don't get, if someone wants to turn around and say, I think we should sack David Moyes tomorrow and get in Zinedine Zidane. Now I can sit here and go, that's a barking opinion, and I don't believe in a million years it will happen. But do you know what? That person's entitled to that opinion. No problem at all. It's when it steps into abuse that I have the problem. When it gets too personal, if it's like you said, I mean, I think David Moyes is a tactical dinosaur. I got to be honest with you. I can look at that comment and go, I can see why people would have that opinion.
Yeah, Ken agrees. Would you win ugly and take all 3 points tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yeah. If you offered me win ugly or play pretty football and get done 5-0, well, what am I going to choose?
Oh, mate, I've seen it all. It all. We lose tomorrow. Moyes gets the sack. Who would you want in? And someone has put Gerrard.
No. No.
I mean, that goes from one end of the spectrum with people thinking we can get Joachim Low, Thomas Tuchel, or
Joachim Low hasn't had any experience of managing in league football for many years.
Yep. Listen,
might as well get Terry Venables in while we're at it, or George Graham.
Can you do something with that so that doesn't get clipped? And you saying let's get Venables in. We don't need that.
I'm being completely sarcastic.
I know, but someone will take that as a clip and put that out there.
That's fine.
I agree with what Ken says. Pragmatism and all 3 points is
getting all 3 points is what matters.
I don't care how we go about it. I don't care whether it's a scrappy 1-0 win and people aren't happy with the style of football, can give a monkeys. I also couldn't care less if we go out there and we smash them off the park and we look like prime Brazil. I don't care. 3 points is 3 points.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I'll cheer it in the same way at full time. It wouldn't matter.
Fair enough. Okay, right, ladies and gentlemen. Before we hit the road, just one little message that I'd like to bring to your attention. Forged from Iron is proud to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham United fans and friends inspired by the work of other football fan food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations from Newham Food Bank in Beckton, who supply 7 distribution centres in the borough, 7 days a week, and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. They are supported in their efforts by West Ham United Football Club, the WHU Foundation, LS185, London Legacy Development Corporation, Newham Council, the Met Police, Spire London East Hospital, Expedient Security, and a large number of West Ham and football fans. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thank you for your support. Come on, you Irons. And before we disappear, ladies and gentlemen, just to finish off with, please don't forget to like, comment on and share our stream to your social media platforms, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hit the bell icon for alerts of new content. As always, we thank you for your support. You're putting your finger up there, young man. What's up?
I want to go a little bit political because it's got a West Ham attachment to it and it made me laugh. Sky Sports, Sky News, breaking. Boris Johnson says he will not stand for the Tory leadership. To which a West Ham Twitter handle replied, it's the first time that Boris Johnson has pulled out of anything in his life. I will leave you all with that one.
Jesus. Duke,
Yeah,
what are we?
massive, absolutely massive.
Well, saying about massive, apparently, so is Kent.
No, he says there's more chance of him having one. If
Yeah,
that's the
but
case, Ken, but would that not mean they'd have to cut it in half? Just
I
saying.
heard they called him Ron Jeremy on the quiet. Come on, you Irons.